Terrorism is the use of violence and threats to intimidate others, especially towards political officials. These examples here are some of the most infamous terrorist attacks that affected U.S. citizens personally. In New York City, on September 11, 2001, there was a massive attack against the U.S. Al-Qaeda, which is a terrorist group in the Middle East, planned to hijack 4 planes and crash them into U.S. government buildings. 1 plane hit the Pentagon, 2 hit the World Trade Center, and the last one, which was meant to crash into the White House, crashed into a field in the middle of Pennsylvania. Almost 3,000 people were killed and nearly 9,000 were injured severely. After 9/11, the security in all airports in America grew tremendously. In Boston, Massachusetts, April 15, 2013, during the Boston Marathon, which is a very large sporting event where nearly 27,000 people ran the marathon, pipe bombs were planted at a point throughout the marathon. 3 were killed and over 260 were severely injured. Once the FBI released photos of the suspects, they were found. Dzhokhar and Tamerlan Tsarnaev were pursued. There was a large gunfight, and Tamerlan, the older brother, was pronounced dead at the scene, while Dzhokhar, the younger brother, escaped. It was days later that Dzhokhar was found in a boat, badly hurt. He now faces the death penalty or life in prison without parole.
The USS Cole bombing was a suicide attack against the U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer, the USS Cole, on October 12th of 2000. It was off the coast of Aden, Yemen. Small watercrafts filled with explosives were used to destroy it. Al-Qaeda claimed responsibility, which ended up killing 17 American sailors and injuring 39 more. The U.S. held Sudan liable for the attack. Since the Americans have a rule of engagement that they cannot fire at anything unless the enemy shoots first, so that's why the first watercraft attacked. But Officer John Washak saved more people by disobeying this rule and sinking a second boat that was approaching the ship. The barracks bombing occurred during the Lebanese Civil War, when U.S. military forces were over for the international peacekeeping. It happened on October 23, 1983. 2 truck bombs struck separate buildings housing U.S. military forces and French military forces. The group behind it were called a Islamic Jihad organization. The death toll for American troops was 241 and 58 French servicemen and 6 civilians. This terrorist attack was the deadliest single-day death toll of American Marines since Iwo Jima in World War II, and the deadliest single-day death toll for the military since the Tet Offensive during Vietnam. For retaliation, the French ended up sending an airstrike in the Bekaa Valley, aiming for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. For retaliation, the French ended up sending an airstrike in the Bekaa Valley, aiming for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Critical theory is a type of social theory oriented toward critiquing and changing society as a whole, in contrast to tradition theory oriented only to understanding or explaining it. Terrorists usually attack to try and cause fear in these innocent people's country, and to try and show that their way of life and government is better than what they are living with. For our interview, we asked 10 people 3 different questions, and here are the results. The only way to prevent an imminent attack against the U.S. is to act preeminently. 5 agreed, 3 were undecided, and 3 opposed. The second question was, providing aid to other countries is a waste of resources at a time when those resources are needed at home. 3 agree and 7 oppose. And then the last question we asked was, American values of freedom, democracy, and open markets make us a target of hostility from those who oppose our way of life. 1 agreed, 3 were undecided, and 6 opposed.